Abigail was the wife of Nabal. She became a wife of David after Nabal's death, 1 Samuel 25. Abigail is David's third wife, after Saul's daughter, Michal, whom Saul later married to Palti, son of Laish when David went into hiding in Edom. She became the mother of one of David's sons, who is listed in the Book of Chronicles under the name Daniel, in the Masoretic text of the books of Samuel as Chilib, and in the Septuagint text of 2 Samuel 3-3 as Kamadaluia. Biblical history: in the passage from 1 Samuel, Nabal demonstrates ingratitude towards David, and Abigail attempts to placate David in order to stop him taking revenge. She gives him food, and speaks to him, urging him not to have on his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed, verse 31, Niv, and reminding him that God will make him a lasting dynasty, verse 28. John Levinson calls this an undeniable adumbration of Nathan's prophecy in 2 Samuel 7. Alice Bach notes that Abigail pronounces a crucial prophecy, and the Talmud regards her as one of the Tanak's 7 female prophets. Levinson, however, suggests that she senses the drift of history from intelligence rather than from special revelation. After Abigail reveals to Nabal what she has done, Yahweh struck Nabal and he died, v.38, after which David married her. Abigail is described as intelligent and beautiful. The Talmud amplifies this idea, mentioning her as being one of the 4 women of surpassing beauty in the world, the other 3 being Rahab, Sarah, and Esther. As the wife of the wealthy Nabal, she is also a woman of high socioeconomic status. Whether David married her because he was attracted to her, or as an astute political move, or both is unclear. Abigail and David's third wife, Ahinoam the Jezreelite, accompany David and his war band when they seek refuge in Philistine territory. While David and his men were encamped near Jezreel, and when they are captured by Amalekites raided the town of Ziklag and carried off the women and children. David led the pursuit and they were subsequently rescued. Both wives then settle with David in Hebron, where Abigail gives birth to David's second son, Chilib, also called Daniel. Abigail is also listed as one of the 7 Jewish women prophets, the other 6 being Miriam, Deborah, Hannah, Sarah, Huldah, and Esther. In terms of her moral character, Abraham Kuyper argues that Abigail's conduct indicates a most appealing character and unwavering faith, but Alice Bach regards her as subversive. Adele Berlin contrasts the story of Abigail with that of Bathsheba. In one, the wife prevents David from murdering her foolish and greedy husband. In the second, David orders the murder of a good man because he desires his wife. In the Abigail story, David, the potential king, is seen as increasingly strong and virtuous, whereas in the Bathsheba story, the reigning monarch shows his flaws ever more overtly and begins to lose control of his family. Levinson and Halpern suggest that Abigail may, in fact, also be the same person as Abigail, mother of Amasa. Richard M. Davidson, however, points out that on the basis of the final form of Old Testament canon, references to Abigail in the biblical accounts indicate 2 different individuals. Generic use: Abigail's self-styling as a handmaid led to Abigail being the traditional term for a waiting woman, for example as the waiting gentlewoman in Beaumont and Fletcher's The Scornful Lady, published in 1616. Jonathan Swift and Henry Fielding use Abigail in this generic sense, as does Charlotte Bronte. Anthony Trollope makes 2 references to the Abigail, all lowercase, in the Eustace Diamonds, at the beginning of chapter 42, whilst Thomas Mann makes the same reference at the start of the 2nd chapter of part 2 in Button Brooks, published in 1901. William Rose Bennett notes the notoriety of Abigail Hill, better known as Mrs. Masham, a lady-in-waiting to Queen Anne. George MacDonald Fraser makes mention of an Abigail fussing about the room in his novel Flashman from the Flashman Papers series.